kamakai o ka papalai e komo ia maloko ina ka punu yo wa une lai e anu ko e valeno ola kamakalola you ready imu ready ka aina e ka moana hey nice e kai e alakai e hoona wo e hoona nakila apai in the ohana in the kame kalanikila. You put the plant down, guys. Get covered with the dirt. Just leave it down. You with the here, way down. Hang on, man.
Okay, with the dirt. Oh yeah. Okay.
They're right there, guys. That's good.
Okay.
Ikano ne au? Ai oi. Kaulu. Everybody, si mahalo kia kua? Mahalo na makua? Mahalo na kupuna? E mahalo i oi? Ina poe? No Maui? Molokini? Ka olave? E lanai? Ino molokai? Mahalo i oi? O keiki kani? O keiki wahine? Ia mama?
Hi, my name is Paul Sturm. I'm with Ridge to Reefs, and we're working on a project to try to reuse the water that was being put down injection wells. So our goal is really to take and manage that water in a different way so that it doesn't have to be injected. So this is one solution here is to use vetiver grass and to use, you see some sprinklers here, and we have drip irrigation, and we can use a lot of water that way, and we can grow a plant that's useful in restoration projects or other restoration projects around the island. Each one of these grasses can be split after 6 to 12 months, can be split into 50 to 100 plants. So they can really multiply and be used in other projects around the county.
Hey, good morning. My name is John Estilla with Sunshine Vetiver Solutions, and today I'm going to talk to you about this project we have in Kihei, where we're going to be using vetiver grass to help reuse and dispose of recycled water. Vetiver grass, it's a perennial bunch grass with a really extensive root system that is a very thirsty grass. It has a unique ability of using high amounts of water even in saturated conditions, and it helps convert nutrients that are in that wastewater into explosive biomass growth. This pilot project is aiming to answer whether or not this green infrastructure works on Maui. There's been studies across the world showing how vetiver grass has been an excellent tool for disposing of and treating wastewater. But the main question is, does it work on Maui? So this pilot project aims to answer that question. At the end of this project, we hope to find out and quantify the volume of water that can be disposed within a certain area of planted vetiver. And we're hoping that this information can help the county and decision makers really take a serious look at alternatives for wastewater treatment and R1 water disposal.
And then we have some other solutions that we're going to test on this same site. We're sitting here very close to the Kihei Water Reclamation Facility. So we're using this R1 water, or we're using trialing different methods to clean up and in some cases dispose of the water. So two other things that we're going to be doing is looking at a SAT basin, which is basically an evaporation basin that we've made some changes to improve the water quality. So we're going to add vetiver grass here as well as biochar to that system. And essentially it's like a pond with vetiver grass and biochar amended to the soil to absorb the pollutants and the nutrients. And then we're also going to do a denitrifying bioreactor and a biofilter that would just clean up the water. So in that case, we want to preserve the volume of water, and then that water can potentially be used for row crop agriculture or food agriculture, rather than just watering golf courses and things like that. So that's the other thing that we're going to try to do with this project.
We're hoping that this does alleviate the problem of injection wells. The main problem with that is a lot of that wastewater still contains nutrients that end up being transported to our nearshore waters. With this pilot project, we're hoping to show that we can take 100% of that wastewater and dispose it in a land application process. So what happens is that wastewater comes into the field, the soil, the roots of the grass help reduce that wastewater, and it eventually just, stays on site and it doesn't get released into the environment.
I want to tell you that the vertebrae is being used on Maui, so many of you guys know the uses of it. The main one was the windbreaker, but now in Kapolo we're using it to hold the water on the ridge, and we're using it in Haiku for the ridge. So the vertebrae is being used for other reasons, but the biggest benefit we have, like he said, we can use it as a partner plant, And so with the partner plant, we're able to do medicinal, we'll be able to do edibles, we do all kind of things. So anyway, thank you for the study, and so our council member Kelly King was asking you about the other project. So you just submit the budget to them and they'll let you study the project.
Well, it's about time. I guess that was my first impression. We've been talking about the wastewater, and in the years when HCNS was flashing it off and not growing anything, people were wondering why don't they at least try to grow something. So this is kind of the manifestation of that idea that we've been talking about probably for a couple of decades now.
How are you?
And I'm just excited to see us taking this first step. I'd like to see us get to, if we had done this 10 or 20 years ago, we'd be at the next step, which is getting this cleaned water into our water system so that we're truly reusing and recycling the water into domestic use. That's where we want to get to. That's a state mandate. By the year 2050, we have to be recycling and reusing all of our municipal water. So this is a first step. There are others that are also working on water purification. Travis Liggett has a project that he's doing with Limu to clean the water. So this is one of those innovative efforts, and I just really want to thank the administration for moving forward with this, because it shows that we're at the point where, first of all, we recognize the need to bypass the injection wells, and we recognize climate change. I mean, that's really the important thing here, is how are we going to clean up and prepare and try to mitigate as much climate change as we can.
It is an awesome presentation we were given today. This vetiver grass is amazing. What it can do both for carbon sequestration and nutrients removal from the soil and water that has been treated is astonishing. This will be with other crops like hemp and other crops that we can grow for building purposes. Also for our farming, this could be not only a windbreaker, but a nutrient driver. And finally, what I see is we are now going to use this valuable commodity called R1 water by not only putting it in the ground and having it filtrate through the grass, however, and now we can recharge our aquifers like we used to do in the old days with the plantation. This is a great solution, setting up a green zone, buffer zones, and as well as beauty. Instead of the dry grass you see here in Kihei, we'd have something like this growing and stopping brush fires from occurring. So it has multiple facets for which it can help this community. I'm excited. I think this is something that is what I call earth-shattering for us. This is where we get done what we need to and quit injecting water and using that valuable resource for not only the vetiver grass, but for agriculture and all aspects. I am excited.
Well, this project is certainly very exciting, has some great possibilities as to how we use our retreated water and also as a filtration system. So nature is our best engineer, so to speak. So this is really innovative, and I was really happy to hear about how it's being used around the world to treat waste and everything else. So I'm excited about the vetiver grass and its possibilities.
Aloha, I'm Shane Sinensi, and we're here today with the Ridge to Reef water reclamation project using Veramir. And I'm here, it's such an exciting project. We're here to support alternative uses for our wastewater, and particularly an option to injecting it into our aquifers and into the ground. As the Water Use Development Plan Committee Chair, we're always looking for ideas to conserve water and also to to reuse the water that we've been using. So definitely a great project to support, and we're looking forward to the expansion of small projects like these. So again, mahalo to Ridge to Reef and for their efforts in a sustainable Maui. So mahalo nui.
We're really looking at nature-based solutions. Nature has already figured out how to do these things and evolved to clean water over millions of years. And it's only kind of humans that have messed that up. And so I think we're looking to use interventions that include vegetation, that include denitrifying bacteria. We create the conditions for nature that we need in order to denitrify and clean up water, and nature will do the work, and she'll do it better, cheaper, and more efficiently than machines or engineers, or nature. Nature is the best engineer. Yeah.
Alaka. Ona wo. Hola nikila. Apai kaina. Ina kame kala nikila. Kia. Alaka. Ona wo. Hola nikila. Apai. Kame kala nikila.